Mark is desperate to secure a high-paying job, believing it will change both his and his wife Maggie's future. However, his desperation pushes him into a morally dark place. Before the interview, he pressures Maggie to wear a revealing dress, demanding she look attractive enough to impress his potential boss. Maggie, who simply wants to support her husband, chooses a modest dress. But Mark mocks her appearance, comparing women to cars and saying she should highlight her features. He manipulates her emotionally, insisting that this sacrifice is for us and for their future. Reluctantly, Maggie agrees, unaware that this is only the beginning of something far worse. This moment highlights Mark's internal flaws. He sees his wife as a tool for personal gain rather than a partner deserving of respect. It also sets the stage for the story's moral lesson. The true character of a person becomes evident when they must choose between integrity and ambition. Mark enters his job interview nervous but hopeful. Mr. Walker, the man he assumes is the company boss, gives off an intimidating and arrogant aura. He behaves unprofessionally from the very beginning, declaring that only real men get hired. During the interview, he objectifies women openly, speaks with toxic confidence, and encourages Mark to embrace similar beliefs. Maggie arrives later, and Mr. Walker immediately begins complimenting her appearance in an uncomfortable way. He treats her not as a human but as a piece of decoration. Mark notices his wife's discomfort yet remains silent, too afraid of losing the job. Walker continues making sexist jokes, bragging about his boat and how no woman leaves it without spending the night. His vulgar behavior escalates, but Mark allows it, wanting the job at any cost. This section of the story exposes the theme: when you stay silent in the presence of wrongdoing, you become part of it. Mark's willingness to tolerate disrespect toward his wife reveals his moral decay. Mark and Maggie are invited to dinner, where Mr. Walker's behavior worsens. In public, he openly objectifies Maggie, making inappropriate comments about her body and calling her the main course. He flirts with her continuously, smirking whenever she shows discomfort. Maggie tries to stay polite but finally snaps when Walker makes a cruel sexist joke about women not going to the moon because it doesn't need cleaning. Maggie confronts Mark, expecting him to defend her. Instead, Mark scolds her for reacting. He tells her that men always act like this and that she should get used to it. His words break her heart. He even tells her to just sit there and smile, revealing how little he values her dignity. At this moment, Maggie realizes that Mark is willing to sell her dignity for a job. It becomes clear that he doesn't see her as a life partner but as a bargaining chip. The situation reaches its darkest point when Mr. Walker announces that he wants to show Maggie his boat tonight. His meaning is obvious: he intends to seduce her. Shockingly, Mark hesitates only slightly before agreeing. He doesn't even look at Maggie while making the decision. Mr. Walker gloats, calling Mark "tiger," mocking his weakness. Maggie is devastated. Her husband doesn't just fail to protect her, he willingly hands her over for personal gain. That betrayal shatters her trust completely. Maggie walks out with Mr. Walker, disgusted and heartbroken. Mark stays behind, still focused on the job. He tells himself it's only temporary, that everything will be fine once he gets the position. This moment exposes Mark fully. He is a man who has lost all sense of morality and love. A man who can sacrifice the dignity of his own wife cannot be trusted with anything of value. As soon as Maggie leaves, Susan, the woman Mark thought was a secretary, reveals the truth. She is actually the CEO of the company. The disgusting boss is merely an actor she hires to test candidates. She explains that Mark's behavior exposed his true character. He was willing to sell his wife's dignity to secure a job. She shares her own painful history. When she was younger, powerful men tried to buy and control her. Because of that, she promised herself never to hire anyone who disrespects women or trades integrity for money. Mark suddenly panics and tries to justify himself, but Susan interrupts. She tells him that a man who lets his wife go with a stranger doesn't care about her at all. The job opportunity is gone forever. Mark is left speechless and humiliated, realizing too late how deeply he failed. When Maggie returns, she already knows what Mark did. Susan has told her everything. Heartbroken and furious, Maggie confronts him. She reminds him that they lived in her father's house and survived on her salary, and now he has lost all of it. With calm but firm words, she takes back her power. You don't have a home. You don't have money. And you don't have a wife anymore. Mark begs, but it's too late. Maggie walks away with dignity, leaving Mark with nothing but regret. Her final message hits him hardest. Women are like cars, and you just lost your driver's license. The story ends with Susan celebrating her successful business deal, a symbol that strong women rise above exploitation.